Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of It's Cheaper Than Therapy podcast. I am your host, Ro Nice, aka Roland Kirsten. I am talking to you today. I posted on what I said this week's episode was going to be about. So I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit. We're going to talk about this beef between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. Um, Everybody might say I might be glazing LeBron or whatever. That's not really what this is about. This is about me as a father, as a parent, and a sports fan. So as we sit back and talk about um, what's been going on between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith over the last couple of weeks about their ongoing feud about who's saying what and how they're saying it. Um, my standpoint is this. Um, Stephen A. Smith attacked that man as a father by saying, I'm begging you, pleading you as a father, please stop this. Um, at that point, that's when it crossed the line to being about analytics of sports or Bronny James' skill set, and it became more of a personal attack. And I don't know these two people personally, but that seems a little bit personal to me, and I think that it boils down to where Stephen A. Smith doesn't get any, I would want to say, love from LeBron to a certain extent. LeBron has never done any interviews with him or Skip Bayless, so the LeBron hate has been going on for quite some time, and we're gonna move past the GOAT conversation and just really talk about this issue in itself. And let's be honest, if we as parents had the ability to create doors and open up doors and create avenues for our children to prosper and be successful in any avenue, we would do it, and everybody can call it nepotism or be that what it may. If we all had a Fortune 500 company, or we were, had ability to open businesses and let our children run them regardless of their skill set, I think we will all do it. And the thing is, we would allow our children to grow and teach them the skill set to run that business. So LeBron James was in the fortunate position to teach his son how to play basketball, and that knowledge attributed to him being drafted. Now, some people say he doesn't deserve to be there, but at the 55th pick, like, why are we shedding so much light on the 55th pick in the NBA draft? Oh, is it because it's LeBron James' son or whatever? So we're going to talk about, nepotism and creating opportunities for our kids. That's what we're supposed to do as parents in this world. We ain't supposed to just sit there and not try to have opportunities for our kids to be created based off our success and the things we've done in this world. Now, and you're talking to a man in LeBron James whose son almost, died of a heart attack and fought his way back to be drafted. Of course, his dad played influence in him getting drafted. A lot of people said he shouldn't be there. I mean, if the problem is we're giving too much coverage to him and not focusing on to him as far as who he is and not necessarily what he's doing, and that's being an NBA player. We're not focusing on the top 10 picks. We're not talking about them every day. Yes, we're talking about them because of who it is, but does that make it LeBron James' fault that they are who they are? You take Michael Jordan's sons. I mean, let's be honest. One of his sons got popped for cocaine. So now, is that okay? No, that's not a right thing to talk about. But I mean, we're having a debate about who's the greatest player of all time, and LeBron James' GOAT status sometimes exceeds beyond the court, and it goes into who he has been as a role model. And you can say whatever you want to say about him. That man's been with his same wife since he's been in high school. He's raised his family, no scandals, whatever. But Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and other talking heads on ESPN, Fox Sports, they say they tend to cross the line sometimes when they talk about these people, family, and Stephen A. Smith's. My problem with him is that he tends to talk more so about African American athletes, and he gets on them real hard, and not the athletes of other races. I mean, he was very hush mouth about Brett Favre stealing millions of dollars from the state of Mississippi that was supposed to go to programs that would help disenfranchised family, but he didn't talk about that. He constantly talked about LeBron James, his school, other athletes, and their negatives, but never want to point out their highlights and their positive, especially African American athletes. He never pointed out Brett Favre or never pointed out the fact that Tom Brady cheated multiple times, and but that's okay. He doesn't talk about that, and I feel like he's paid not to talk about not to talk about those particular athletes and in a negative light. And then when it come out that the ESPN producer just that audio got leaked showing that Stephen A. is quote unquote the black angry man on ESPN. That's what he's paid to do. He's paid $20 to $25 million a year just to talk negatively. So let's all be honest again. I say if we would all us as parents, if we had avenues for our children to grow and be successful, who wouldn't use their pull to get their child to a certain aspect? And we're not even gonna pretend like Bronny did not do the work. He didn't. Everybody said, well, he left school after 1 year and he played poorly at USC. I mean, let's be honest. You got his father never went to college, straight from the high school to the pros. So now that he had that chance to go to 1 year college, learn a little bit, and that's the whole point of the G League for him to develop. So what if he got a couple of burn and real NBA minutes, and when he got his burning real NBA minutes, his growth is constantly showing. But Stephen A., bringing up the fact that now he's digging, trying to find stuff by like the part that he had to retract about LeBron not going to Kobe's funeral when there's clearly footage at LeBron at the funeral. That's where he's digging, trying to cross the line. And if he wants to talk about why LeBron James and Dwayne, he didn't go to Dwayne Wade Hall of Fame inductee ceremony. I mean, if you really want to talk about, I feel like, this is my opinion, LeBron James has distanced himself from D Wade due to some of the questionable choices that D Wade has made as a father and with his son, and that whole transitioning thing. I don't want to get a red flag on my account. I don't want to get too deep into that. But if you want to talk about questionable father choices, hey, we can, that's a topic for another day, but that's also a sensitive topic that can get people in trouble. So we're not going to sit here and pretend like this thing hasn't gone out of control just a little bit, because you're talking about one man as a father who's done everything right. And everybody wants to say, well, he's a bad person because of the decision in 08 when he chose to go to, in 2012, whatever, when he chose to go to Miami. I mean, again, you talking about in 2010, you talking about that guy was 25 years old, and I'm pretty sure ESPN and their juggernaut that they are, they definitely had influence in that episode of the decision. So, it's, what are we supposed to do? We're going to sit here and keep taking dumps on this man while he continues to show us great things and continue to be a great father, basketball player, and family man. And at some point in time, when it's over, then what we're going to do? Now we're going to focus on criticizing his child. And if you criticize his child for basketball accomplishments and basketball skill set, then that's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. But just sit up there and attack him personally, and attack him as a father. And people don't get that. The words are saying that I beg of you as a father to please stop this. That's where that line got crossed. That's where that man decided, hey, enough is enough. For 20 plus years, you've been talking about me. You've been saying negative stuff, that I'm not mentally strong, that I'm not this, that, and the third. So now you have crossed over the line to saying that I'm a bad parent by allowing my son to continue to follow his dream and play in the NBA. Of course, yes, I helped him get there with my influence. What parent wouldn't? Um, they're not the first father and son duo. You think Steph Curry coming out of Dayton didn't get help from his father, Dale, to get into the league. Not saying Steph Curry's not a great player, but if you really don't think that his father didn't make some phone calls, glad hand some people to help him get drafted, then you're sadly mistaken. So, but unfortunately, yeah, LeBron James had the power to put pressure on the Lakers to say, it's a package deal. You take me and you take my son. Okay, you people may say that's wrong and whatever, but again, the Los Angeles Lakers are an organization that have people in charge and that are adults, and they make that decision at the end of the day. So whether he put that pressure on them or not, he don't write no checks for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's the bus children that do that. So why is he being thrown under the bus because he put a parameter in place for the success of his kids? That's what we all want to do. You know, there are plenty of business owners that put kids in charge that have no clue what they're doing. At least LeBron James Jr. could play basketball a little bit and better than 90% of the people, excuse me, that's out there talking trash about him. So, and he has shown his progress. So at the end of the day, LeBron James walking up on Stephen A. Smith, yeah, people say, well, he should have did it behind closed doors. But Stephen A. Smith, I've heard it. We've all heard it over the years. I'm at the games, pull up on me, talk to me, say what you got to say. And he's done that to several people. And then he picks certain moments to try to shine on them, and then knowing that they're kind of in a position where they can't do anything. Like, really, what is LeBron James going to do? He going to risk his career for Stephen A. Smith. He going to risk his legacy and everything he's built for his family for Stephen A. Smith. Who would? Like, that's just not necessary. Everybody's getting on him when LeBron was on the Pat McAfee show talking about Brian Windhorst. Yeah, he may have been wrong by calling him weird, but at the same time, is he wrong? These sports analysts pretend like they know these athletes personally, and you find out that they don't. They find out, they're just getting insider information, or people are telling them stuff that have no clue what they're talking about. So, maybe he went a little as far as calling them weird. Unfortunately, but that is, to essence, a little bit weird. These people are pretending like they know you, know your family personally, know everything about you personally, and they can sit up there and talk about you 2 hours a day. And LeBron James has been quiet for over 20 years, and I feel like now, since he's coming close to his retirement, he is finally speaking back. And this is the first time that you ever seen him, or I've ever seen him since when he did the decision, sit down and talk to anyone. And I guess he probably chose not to, because since the decision, everybody's been crucifying him. Oh, he's weak for doing that. He does this. So why would you even talk to them other than when you obligated for post-game interviews? I wouldn't talk to them either, because they already been dogging him for 20 plus years. Like I said, we are off the GOAT debate about this topic. This is about, two grown men are getting into something that's being played out publicly that we're all watching, because one man did take it too far. And like I said, one man did all for the last 20 years have a problem because Stephen A. Smith, you agreed, always said, well, I don't have a problem with LeBron James. He's the second best player ever. I don't have no problem with him. I don't have no problem with him. But now in the last week, oh, I have a problem with him being two-faced. And I'm having a problem with him doing dirty underhand stuff and backstab stuff. Now, if you would have said that, over the, been constantly saying that over the last 20 years, then these last 3 weeks wouldn't have come as a surprise and people wouldn't be so, set back about what he's saying. But he picks, finally, when LeBron James checks him at the Knicks game, he finally picks when LeBron James speaks on him at the, at the Pat McAfee show. He finally picks this time to bring up all this buried down hate that you had for 20 years. I mean, you can't bury that kind of hate every day on for 20 plus years against this man and never say nothing until now. So, I feel like it's more deeper than just, oh, I don't like him because the decision. Oh, I don't like him because he didn't do the slam dunk contest. Like, this is kind of the stuff Stephen A. have been saying for 20 plus years. And this is one of the reasons why I cut back watching First Take, because I watched Stephen A. Smith say a lot of things about a lot of athletes, either other than LeBron James, that I necessarily didn't agree with and that were, that could be harmful. And I watched him not say nothing when certain white athletes did certain things, illegal things, and said nothing. Like when I say he was tight-lipped, he was tight-lipped. When certain black athletes got into domestic disputes with their significant others, he said a lot of negative things about black athletes. But when certain white athletes got into domestic disputes, he said nothing. Like, the Dana White situation, he said nothing. So, I mean, it got to be deeper than just him not liking LeBron James. Now, son, it has to be he's paid to say negative things. And outside of sports, he's got into it. Like he's into it. One of my favorite comedians, Corey Holcomb, they've been at it, and and Corey said it's just like he knows what he's doing. He know as he sit there up on that ESPN desk and say some of the most idiotic and most hurtful things about black athletes and black people, and doesn't say anything about white athletes and white counterparts. And so that Skip Bayless had to get away from him. Max Kellerman had to get away from him. Max Kellerman got more props from the black community than Stephen A. Smith did. So, like I said, this ain't about me glazing LeBron or being on his coattail. This ain't even about the GOAT conversation. This is about that man has taken some of the god-awful criticism that will make most normal people crack, talking about him. And then now you got reports of people lying, said that they never wrote the N-word on his garage door. Come on, man. Like, that happened. Like, they've been at this man since, the fans in Cleveland have said god-awful things to him. The fans in Boston have said god-awful things to him. So you think that man ain't experienced these things? So when, as a person that of color, and when you and I'm not an athlete, but I'm pretty sure LeBron James is looking at, well, damn, you're a black man with this big platform. Why is your job sitting here putting me down every day? Like, is that made your career, that made you rich? And I took it, but now you taking that to the next level and attacking me personally. And now that I'm not going to allow you to attack me personally as a father, as a family man, now you want to go make up stuff. Because at this point, I do believe Stephen A. is just trying to make up stuff about, and he had to correct himself about the Kobe Bryant memorial service thing. That's how you know now he done lost all his credibility that whatever he brings to the light, because you said that on national television when you got corrected, you had to retract. But you said it with such, you know, confirmation that you knew for sure that LeBron was in that Kobe's memorial service, and there was documented proof, and now you had to retract that. So I want you guys feedback. Take the LeBron versus Michael debate about this out of it. You feel how you feel about who's the GOAT, whether it be LeBron or Michael Jordan. Take that part out of it. Put yourself in the places of a parent, a successful parent that has the ability to open doors and create avenues for your child, and then you got somebody just, pardon my French, essing on you every day, calling you not mentally tough, telling you that you're not mentally strong enough. Now he's been getting that from Skip and Stephen A for 20 plus years. Oh, he's not mentally tough enough. He's not mentally strong. He's not this, that, and the third mentally, emotionally, and he's been getting that. And now that he pulled his weight um, to get his son in the NBA. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Think about NFL coaches and college coaches um, that pull their weight to get their kids coaching jobs that may not necessarily deserve it. So why is he any different? So why can't he, you know, jingle his popularity, his money to make things better for his two kids? It's okay for the coaches to do it. It's okay for white people to do it. It's okay for businessmen to do it. So why is it when this black man that's a billionaire does it, it's up in arms, and oh, it's nepotism. I mean, we all going to do a little bit of things that are considered nepotism here and there for our children. We always want to put our children in the best position possible. So, you know, you guys, I want your feedback on this. Comment in the comment section once I post this video. Email me at cheaperthantherapyshow@gmail.com. Text me at 803-543-5233. Give me your feedback on this, because this is bigger than sports. This is about life. This is about, parenting. This is about, you know, one black man trying to downgrade and degrade another, which we already got enough of that in this world. So we already got enough of our own of people not look like us, turn against us. Now we got to deal with people that look like us, turn against us, and LeBron James gets that criticism from Skip and other white media broadcasters. And he has to get it from people like Jason Whitlock. He has to get it from people like Stephen A. Smith. And now, I feel like I'm even watching Shannon Sharp starting to turn, but it's paychecks. A paycheck will make you turn against everything you believe that hard. Like, who cares that LeBron James didn't play in the All-Star game? I mean, he played in 21. Just because he was selected and didn't play, now you're gonna tell you, oh, he should have did this, he should have did that. That's just kind of idiotic. Now you don't like this, or now you're mad at him because he didn't participate in the dunk contest. The dunk contest, and most of us as fans, we didn't really care about that. The All-Star weekend wasn't that big of a thing to us anyway, other than if you attended an All-Star weekend, you wasn't there to watch the game and the dunk contest. There for most of the time, you were there for the women that came around, and you were there to see the celebrities. You could care less about the game itself. When it comes to the in season tournament, I kind of like that. Giving them a little bit of bonus. I do think they should change it to whatever conference wins the in season tournament, or whatever team, matter of fact, or whatever team wins the All-Star game. That's the team should get home court advantage throughout the NBA Finals. Whatever conference wins the All-Star game, that's their conference should get home court advantage. I think that's a better incentive for the All-Star break, regardless of record. Give that team for that conference the home court advantage for the NBA Finals. So like I said again, you guys, I want your opinion on this because I'm shifting into that we got to do more for us. And after watching what Stephen A. Smith has said and has done, he's been on his tour of the Gilbert Arena show. He's been on his tour of his podcast. He's been talking to several people saying all kinds of stuff. But when that man was a foot in front of you, you had nothing to say. And it ain't about swinging and getting some physical altercation. This is about that man was 2 feet in front of you. He asked you, yo, if you're gonna analyze, but don't talk to me about, don't question my ability as a father. That's where the line gets drawn in the sand. Nobody questioned. If you question Stephen A. about his blackness and or his ability to be where he's from, he gets real defensive and gets upset about it. But if it's okay for him to question the man's parenting because he did what he did to open avenues for his child, let's be real about that. So I know some people was like, "Oh, LeBron is this, he's a flopper." We taking basketball out of it because this conversation between him and Stephen A. has gone beyond basketball, has gotten a little more personal than just analyzing somebody's skill set on or off the court. Like I said, when you're talking about the Kobe Bryant Memorial, you're talking about the D Wade Hall of Fame celebration. Now you're going into questioning someone's character and their motives and who they are as a person. And then that's not really about basketball, even though Kobe Bryant was a basketball player and his memorial service was his memorial service. That's so far beyond basketball. And yes, the Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame celebration, it's about basketball, but when you're saying why you weren't there, well, let's not talk about that. That means you attacking something totally different that ain't got nothing to do with his skill set on the court, his son's skill set on the court. He just told him, LeBron just said, hey, I live rent free in your mind every day. There's a lot of things that could be talked about on ESPN, but they choose not to. So again, people, I want your feedback on this. Like I said, comment below. Email me at cheaperthantherapyshow@gmail.com. Text 803-543-5233. I am going to come back next week with a new episode. I'm going to talk a little bit more about black-owned businesses and, shout out to, again, black-owned businesses. Most of right now, I got places that are eateries. We got In Taste We Trust. That shout out to Denard Weaver, aka Toot, Cook's Grill, Maurice Cook, Mojack Snacks. Mojack. Shout out to them. Their eateries. I want everybody. Another black business that I frequent. Misha Sinful Cakes on 2 Notch Road in Columbia. You got the fire. Red velvet cheesecake. Check it out on 2 Notch. These are all black owned businesses. I'm gonna start, really. I got my Big Bulls Banging Barbecue on Hardscrabble Road. Check them out. Great food. So I'm going to most of these places, eatery. I got Diamond Weems, the lip and pour service. So she's based out of Charlotte. So I'm going to try to find and highlight more black businesses, and I'm gonna try to give out their information. Black real estate. I'm a real estate agent myself. So, people, as we buy houses, sell houses, invest in real estate, let's try to buy and invest with our own, because we got to grow our own community today. You see what's going on out here. It's getting a little thick in the streets. So, again, everybody, please, this LeBron James thing, comment, because I want it to be more than just about basketball, because that's where it has gotten to. Any suggestions for show topics? I'm trying to work on, if having co-hosts, guests. It's just a little bit harder because this isn't my place as in. So, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in last week, and I'm coming back, doing these episodes 1 week at a time, new episodes at a time. Again, I want to thank everybody. Peace, love, and check in with me again.